Hello and welcome to Comic Solving Problems. I'm Stephen Allen.
And I'm Eric McElroy. Hello.
Hello. Yes, this is your bi-weekly online streaming comedy show that tries to sort out the problems of the modern day era and take us back to the before days. Do you remember the before days when a super spreader event was just a euphemism for an orgy? God damn, we miss those days, and we're doing whatever we can to get us back there. While we're doing stuff tonight, you can get involved. If you go wherever you're watching this, that's fine, but you can go to the main hub, which would be the YouTube channel that's on screen now, / Comic Solving Problems. Subscribe, be nice, leave messages, and if you chat there, we can see it. But also wherever you are, hopefully we can track down your comments and get involved in the show. That's what you can do. Keep being chatty in whichever medium you're on. As we sit down to enjoy the show, if you could share a link to it, that would be very much appreciated. Get it out there, because the social media world is full of crap. Let's add to it. That's one way of doing it. Thank you very much if you've pre-bought tickets to this spectacular. Hopefully you're sat down with some popcorn and beers to enjoy the show. For everyone else, we will keep mentioning that you could chuck some money into our little donation link to help keep us from being too poor. We're poor, and that's fine, but too poor is what we're trying to avoid.
Yeah.
And then our Twitter things are on screen as well. Sweet. I think we've got it all sorted. Some of the messages coming through already, but we'll do those in a bit. I think the first issue is to say, Mr. Eric McElroy, what's your problem?
Oh, lots of problems. One problem is coming together. You know, the new office. It's getting a little bit better.
It's looking good.
I've got the beer sign is back.
Nice.
The Blocked by Trump is there. Just ironically now because he's not on Twitter anymore. But yeah, it's getting there. And I know you missed the frog and the cowboy
Everyone
hat.
missed the frog.
It's a big one for you.
That's not one of those right-wing frogs, is it?
Yeah. Yes, it is. Yeah. Q all the way. But that's not my problem. I've got a lot of problems, but that's not it. This is a big problem, one that I think will touch on you personally, Steve, because I know you have an affinity for this particular area. What happens, Steve, when science goes weird?
I don't know.
Yep. I think what it means, Steve, is that we have a whole new segment called Weird Science. Bring in the intro.
Weird Science.
Copyright 2021.
Yep, that was modern.
Bringing it back, bringing it cool. And you know what? Watching that movie, or at least the trailer to that movie from 1985, it is totally inappropriate and not something I want to show my teenage children. But it's something that you and I probably enjoyed back in the day. But nope.
No.
Even my son is a feminist, and he'd look at that and go, "I don't think this is appropriate, Dad." So anyway, give it to me again, though. Weird Science.
Hang on. No, you gotta let it reset. Let it reset and
Weird Science.
Weird Science. Here we go, Steve. Lots of stories of weird science out there. Now, we might all remember there was lots of weird science going on with the last presidential administration, and we probably all remember this incredible moment here.
A lot of good things have come out about the hydroxy. A lot of good things have come out. And you'd be surprised at how many people are taking it, especially the frontline workers, before you catch it. The frontline workers, many are taking it. I happen to be taking it.
You would be surprised. Yes, you are surprised. He's surprised himself by saying he's taking it right there. You could see back then, I miss him so much. He was clearly lying. And you know he was lying because you could tell by the pause in what he was deciding to say as he said it. The thing is, I mean, the miracle of hydroxychloroquine, the biggest part of that miracle was me learning how to say it, Steve.
Yeah.
If you go back into season 1 and season 2 of this show, I really struggled with that. And I made an effort because I never tried to do a Trump impersonation because I didn't want to give him the kudos. But I did learn how to say hydroxychloroquine. And I'm not the only person who invested in hydroxychloroquine, Steve, as we can see here. The state of Oklahoma bought a lot of it based on believing what the president was saying. Clearly somebody in Oklahoma was like, I learned how to say it. I'm going to buy it. They got $2 million worth of hydroxychloroquine, Steve, and they're trying to get rid of it now. So let me tell you what's happening. It's Crazy Harry's hydroxychloroquine sale. Oh, hydroxychloroquine has got to go. Do I sound like I'm crazy? Yes, because I'm tripping on this shit.
Yeah.
Those here, they were an incredible part of my youth, much like Weird Science. that's not the only science that's been weird in the news today, Steve. I think you saw this story as well. It turns out, look at this. This is science going too far. Scientists have taught spinach to send emails.
Yeah.
What? That doesn't make a lot of sense. Let's read a little bit more into the story. And what do we learn? Why are they sending emails? Oh, I see here. The plants are able to wireless relay information about detecting explosive materials. What are they talking about? I thought maybe they'd be teaching them emails just to make the emails environmentally healthy, like sort of vegan emails and stuff. But they're looking for bombs? I mean, I don't understand why that's happening. I mean, Spinach is now looking for bombs. My dog knows how to smell my drugs. What's going on in the world? I mean, how is this even going to work, Steve? Well, I've got a little trailer here. I mean, of course, the Spinach is going to have dial-up, Steve. They're not going to give it broadband.
Yeah.
They're not insane,
Yeah.
are they? So what the Spinach does is it dials in and it reports the vibrations that were created from a bomb. And we can actually see a live recreation of what they do to report the bomb here.
You've got mail.
Another classic from the 80s, Steve, which is also completely inappropriate to show my children. Now, one more weird science story for you, and this is our favorite mad scientist, Elon Musk.
Yep.
He's a great one. I mean, he is just everything. And what's Elon been up to this week? We can see here. Elon Musk says he's wired up a monkey's brain to play video games. Says Musk, he's a happy monkey. Of course he's a happy monkey, Musk. You're sending electrical shocks into his skull. He's going to smile. That's not a smile. That's just a twitch. Happy monkey. So now Musk is wiring up monkeys and doing weird stuff with their brain. Now, I didn't know that about monkeys. We knew about the electric cars, but of course, what else is Elon Musk famous for? You know, it's this, of course. It's having a spaceship.
Oh, yeah.
Yep, we know where this is going, Steve. Combine the spaceship with the monkey. We actually have obtained secret footage of the newest SpaceX prototype right here. There it is, going
Looks
off into
good,
space.
yeah.
Looks pretty good. Yeah, look at the stars and everything. It's headed back, I think, towards Earth. And let's see the pilot inside. Oh, my God. He sent the poor little guy to space. Look at that. He just wants to go home. He sees it. He just wants a banana. That's all he wants. We're doomed.
Yeah.
The plants have email. The monkeys have spaceships. And Oklahoma has hydroxychloroquine.
Oh, my days. Well, it's nice that you did the science roundup, because I'm normally the sciencey guy, so it's
I know.
nice to sit here and watch some stuff. So many things
Weird.
to try and cover. Firstly, you didn't do a Donald Trump impression because you didn't want to give him the kudos. That was the thing that held him back. What, Eric?
It would have won a second term.
Eric McElroy did not do an impression, and that's the thing that held him back. Spinach being able to email, already it's gone wrong, because earlier today I received an email from the Prince of Spinach, which apparently has lots of money in an account and it just needs some cash, so I'll reply to it and see what happens. I think it's good that Spinach can send messages. It's better than the old ways of hearing stuff. You used to have to try and hear it on the grapevine. And what else was I going to say? They wouldn't give it broadband, they give it broad beans. And that's basically all I had. I sat here just thinking of that stuff. So,
But you did write one joke about that earlier.
I did. Yes, Spinach can now send emails that'll go really well with all the spam, because it's a food.
Oh.
So that's
I
what
left
I
that
do
for
in
you
the day.
today.
That's what I do in the
Left
day.
it on the table.
Just write stuff like that. Some of the messages coming through then. Let's have a look. Where can we go back down to the start of it? And go on to Comment Camp. See if I can load up Comment Camp.
Comment can. There you go.
Let's have a look. Martin S says, evening all, got my beer all set, so the beer's going down. Good. I have a sweet tea,
cool.
says Mark. Love a nice sweet tea. Can you see the American one?
I can't see that one. I can see Mark here said with the state of American medicine spending, $2 million of hydroxychloroquine would be about 50 tablets.
Yeah.
That's very true, Mark. And good evening to Mark as well. He said good evening in there. And
Adds
hope
in
you're
the
doing
fact
all right,
that Waitrose spinach would have Wi-Fi. This is not just spinach. This is Wi-Fi spinach. If the monkey is playing Donkey Kong, he'll be very happy. And surely spinach would send e-kale. Mark,
Oh.
Mark, you've made me feel better about my puns.
Yeah, but we're going to be nice to Mark because he tweeted he had some bad news. So sorry, Mark. Maybe
Yeah.
it was bad news. Maybe it was good news. We don't really know what you want in life and what your goals are. But welcome to the world of the unemployed.
Yeah, but we're here
Look
to
how
have...
well it's turned out for us.
God, don't depress the poor guy. Don't use this as something that you could aspire to. Oh, let's just all go on webcams with blue lighting to cry more. It's truth.
But if you did get a severance package, we'll take some of that sweet, sweet dough. Anyway,
It's truth. I'll pop that up there.
no sympathy there.
Wherever you're watching this, you should be able to send us some messages. You can get involved in the message boards. You can tweet us. Our things are on the screen there. And there's the main YouTube to have a look at.
Yes, get in there. You gotta,
Yeah, I can try and solve a problem for you if you're ready for another one.
let's do it.
I want to solve the problem of overcomplicated news because it's been so difficult to understand the news recently. Since we were last on air, there's been the issue of GameStop, which is something to do with short selling on a place that was barely selling enough stuff, and then they sold more and it made the short sellers a problem, and I don't know what's going on with that. And then there was also the news story about the EU and the argument with AstraZeneca and something to do with supplies to the UK triggering some sort of a Clause 16 thing which put a hard border somewhere. That news story was so complicated because it was basically about contract law and we weren't allowed to see the contracts.
What?
How are we going to know what's going on with anything? I've watched so many of the videos trying to explain the GameStop thing, what short selling and all that stuff is. And look, I don't think they made it any clearer. So what I'd like to do is a new feature. Steve makes things simple.
Hey.
And for that, I'm going to be joined on the screen by an expert. Hello.
Hello, Steve.
So can you explain the GameStop thing to us?
So, do you have a pen?
Yes, got it here.
So, imagine I asked to borrow your pen and promised to pay you £5 interest on its return.
For a pen, you could buy one for less. It's only worth 20p.
Okay, didn't know you have such cheap pens, but if I borrow your 20 pence pen and offer to pay you 10 pence on return.
All right, you're the financial expert.
Now, I take your pen and sell it.
Wait.
Don't worry, you will get it back. But I expect its value to drop.
What, lower than 20p? You're having a go at me for using cheap pens. What's wrong with you?
But when it does drop, I can buy the pen back, return it to you, pay the 10 pence interest, and I will have made, say, 3 pence.
Seems like a lot of effort to earn 3p.
Well, no, it scales. I mean, I'd be doing this with hundreds of pens.
I ain't got that many pens.
Yes, but in the GameStop case, then the hedge fund had borrowed the pen, sold the pen, and then members of the online forum Reddit bought lots of pens.
Why? It's like an online message board. You don't need pens for online,
But
idiots.
they bought the pens to increase the value of all pens.
So this is worth more than 20 pence, so shut up about it being cheap.
Yes, but now this means that the investors have to spend more money to buy back the pens and pay the interest to return it to you. It cost them a lot.
But they could just say they lost it because it's just a pen. I don't mind.
But there's a contract that has to be fulfilled. Where will the pens come from?
I know this one. Not the EU, because they're closing the borders.
No, the EU has nothing to do with it.
That's what I keep saying, but they're still giving it all out, aren't they?
There is no one related to the EU that has anything to do with our example.
Then why is one of them called Marie Le Pen?
Goodbye.
Thank you very much for joining me, an expert. And
He wasn't very bright,
And
Steve.
seen.
He wasn't. I mean, as far as experts go,
Yeah.
I don't think he understood what you were talking about with the pen. I mean,
I think the guy's an idiot.
I'd sell this for 20p.
But I'd lend it out for 10p. That's how you do it.
But I got one.
Yeah. You can buy
I
them.
need your pen.
You can buy them down at GameStop. And
yeah.
they probably give them away for free there.
Have you ever been to a GameStop?
I don't even know what it is.
It's basically like you can buy video games there, and then you can buy accessories to video games. So it's like an empty shell of a store. It doesn't have a lot of stuff in it because you could basically just download everything or buy it on Amazon.
I was going to say, yeah, so it's a place where you can buy games. So it's like the internet.
Yep.
Okay. Interesting stuff. Well,
Yeah.
thoroughly got to the bottom of that issue. And Steve makes things more simple.
Incredible acting. I couldn't even tell. I didn't know which one was you anymore.
You wait till later on. My second story's going to freak you out like you wouldn't believe.
Oh, God, help us all. Right. Victoria's chipped in. She didn't know that Des Lynam was a stock market expert.
I wish I could pull off a Des look. That would be cool.
I don't know. Should I know who that is?
Like a TV presenter who did sports things, but he was an older bloke, but all the ladies seemed to find him attractive.
Well, that's not you then.
Yeah.
Martin S. has offered you a Bic.
Yeah, well, that's a bit fancy. Going full Bic. Can't afford those kind of monies, even though the Kofi's on there to help us buy big pens. Let's have a look. Mark says, "I will. Will I be reimbursed for services rendered? I could let you borrow my pen.
Yep, for a price.
If that helps.
For a price."
You can keep the messages coming through. Let's have a look. The Ko-fi link is on the screen if you'd like to support and fund this particular media project and subscribe to the main YouTube.
YouTube. Yep.
Oh.
And if you're wondering how much to contribute, you think, I'd buy those guys a drink. That's what you could do. Just a really expensive drink.
Yeah. Or a pen.
For a pen. Some nice-ass pens. Right. We're zooming along today, aren't we?
We're getting the flipping stories done. It's so unlike us.
The problem. Look at the attitude I'm bringing. It's a Tuesday night attitude.
Yeah.
I can't believe I was able to do that many snaps in a row.
That made you
quite dry.
fall out the chair.
It's just winter. My hands get rough. They're just. You hear that?
Yeah, we heard that. We're not going to be successful on YouTube as an ASMR place. That's not what we can offer. Normally, it's
You don't
just
think we could do that?
women whispering into microphones. Just you going, "Oh, got dry hands."
Some people are into that.
No, they're not. No. People are
anybody
into
into that?
lots of stuff. No one's into that.
My dry hands. Okay. Steve,
Hello.
I got a problem.
Dry hands.
Yes,
Okay.
that's the problem. No, I have another problem. This problem, what do you do in a coup?
I don't know.
Surprisingly, I'm not talking about the coup that just happened in the United States, which I know is the one you're all thinking of, because normally you mention a coup, these days you think America, you think where I'm from. It didn't used to be our thing. It didn't used to be our thing, but now that's our thing. Thanks, guys.
Because Biden didn't win? Is that what you're saying?
That's what I'm saying. The election was stolen. Actually, if you go deep down into the queue, Biden's inauguration was a false flag. So he wasn't actually inaugurated. It's Trump in disguise. Somehow he managed to lose weight and go into whiteface.
Yeah.
But that's not the coup we're talking about here. Coups, I mean, often when we look back in history, they're memorable. They create incredible images, moments of, the authority against humanity. And I think, of course, in the American coup, seeing the Confederate flag inside the Capitol, or seeing that jackass wear all that fur on his head, all those kinds of things. I think when you go back through the classic coups of the day, you often think of this image right here, the man standing in front of the tanks in Tiananmen Square. I think that nothing gets more visually representative of the little guy against the big guys than that. That's.
And technically, that is a zebra crossing, so.
That is true. That's true. That's the way every time I'm in a zebra crossing in the UK and I've got the dog, I'm like, fuckers better stop. Yeah, maybe that's what the problem was. He wasn't trying to protest the regime killing all those students in Tiananmen Square. He was actually just saying, look who's walking here. Do you think, is it okay that I do that accent?
It depends what you were aiming for, because it felt like you were trying for New York, but missed enough that maybe it was offensive.
So that's probably the most iconic coup image ever. I've never heard anyone belittle it with the whole zebra crossing thing. Well done, Steve.
Thank you.
But we had another iconic image come out of the coup that took place in Myanmar over the weekend. And you might have seen the headline. This was off Twitter from The Independent. Aerobics instructor accidentally captured the coup while she was doing her morning routine. So she's there. She's in front of the parliament in the capital of Myanmar. And as she's doing her routine, the vehicles come in to actually take over the seat of government. We can actually see it live as it happens. We've got the clip of it here. There, she's doing a routine in the morning, and I mean, normally you don't think aerobics and coup, do you? They don't always go together.
Well,
I mean,
coup
usually-
stark, but yeah.
Yeah, normally you want to stretch, but look at there's vehicles going in now with guns. Look at that! Look at that one. That's a gun going in. She's just dancing away. And look at that armed machinery zooming in. Oh, she's jigging it. She's bringing it. She's bringing it. Yeah, the coup, the coup. Whew, that's a lot of exercise. I mean, normally I would do Pilates before a coup. I think that's definitely there.
You've got to warm up.
But it's ominous. You know, the tank is there, everything else. But at the same time, it's very ominous, and this is a scary thing. It also just kind of creates a different vibe with the music happening, doesn't it? It makes it seem less authoritarian. Like let's say what if we add that music to other coups? For example, you know, this moment here. There it goes, yeah, okay, yeah. He's standing there, he's on his own, he's getting it, standing there, and there he goes, yeah. Come on.
Working the rotator cuff, yeah.
See, we add her to everything. It makes it seem less scary and bad. You know, maybe I don't know if it works for all coups. I don't know if you could add it to this one.
It worked for me.
I'm not sure I'm sold. But there we go.
She means business, doesn't she?
The dancing coup.
Yeah. Wow. Coup. I'm not saying coups are good. I'm saying coups are bad. But I'm also saying flipping people who film their morning workouts. Oh.
I know. It's one thing to destroy a democratically elected government, but come on, girl.
Yeah. At least the military say they're only going to be in power for a year. I get the feeling she's going to be doing that Instagram account for a lot longer.
Yep. I mean, that is a definite social media influencer if I've ever seen one.
It's truth. Martin says Myanmar version of Joe Wicks. Yep. Oh,
Yep.
God.
God, that insufferable
Same
prat.
kind of high-pitched voice as well. Let's have a look what we've got going on here. Britt says, hope your... Let's put the message board thing up then. Or actually, we can go even further back. Let's have a look. Britt says, evening, everyone. Chris says, leaf it out, guys, because of all the lettuce, no, the spinach puns.
Nice.
Britt says, hope your next Kofi goal is not a massive tub of hand cream. We know you can't be trusted. I don't know what you mean.
I think it's going to be aerobics lessons.
Oh, dear. A tub of hand cream and a purple curtain. Now we're really getting into euphemism territory. I don't know what that is, but...
I used to have a purple curtain, but that's private.
Oh, okay.
Yep, I'm trying to see if I've got anything else on this side. I think you've got them all.
Yeah, I think I covered... Yeah, go comment cam. See what we got going over here. Shout out to Mike, who sends a smiley, a crying face, and the word fantastic. We'll take it, whatever that was for. Probably
Thank you.
the overthrowing of democracy.
Probably. It's always a good shout.
What we got going on
Be
there?
careful who you shout it to, obviously.
Yeah.
Not sure if we can put that clip on TikTok.
We'll check here. You can do the Twitters as well there on the screen. Put
Yep.
that up there if you want to get on the main YouTubes. There we go. Right. I think we might be up to date with the comments. If you
One more problem, Steve, to solve till we
Yeah.
set the world alight, right?
Quite a big difference. I'm not sure what we were originally planning with this show. But that's it.
Yep.
Laugh, guys, and then join our online club, and then we'll go onto one of those non-YouTube places and just say, let's burn the
And-
world.
Cool.
2, 3, 4, overthrow, 6, 7, 8.
Too much.
So I got a problem that we want to fix, and this is, how do we stop deeply offending our pets?
What?
We need to be worried about this because according to the People for Ethical Treatment of Animals, they say that we should not be using animal insults like pig and chicken because they could hurt the animal. Now, I should say, I want to point out why I'm going to be nervous about this. I'm always wary of talking about the people for the ethical treatment of animals. I like the idea of ethically treating animals, and I'm people, so it all works. But in my radio broadcast career, there's only ever one complaint that's been like ratcheted up the levels of Ofcom, and that was made by PETA, the people for the ethical treatment of animals. Years ago, I was doing a breakfast show down the southwest. It was when they just brought in the ban on fox hunting.
Yeah.
So I did a sketch pretending that the next thing that PETA were going to go after was trying to ban flea circuses because it's unfair to exploit the fleas working in the flea circuses. The joke being there are no fleas in flea circuses. It's all just mechanized. So I did the sketch.
What? Wait, what?
Yep. And the whole thing was these people saying it's not fair to use fleas for our entertainment. You know, they don't choose to be. Well, that was the thing. We did the sketch. We played it out. The PETA complained to Ofcom, saying that it was not right that I should use that radio station as a platform for my political beliefs. What? That I think we should exploit fictional fleas? So anyway, it all got... So I'm a little bit worried talking about... It's almost as if they don't have a sense of humour about these things, which is odd because that story's funny. Like, you shouldn't use animal words because it might upset the animal. This is an amazing step forwards in what's happening with society, because no longer are we judging someone's bad words by their intent, because no one means to upset the animal by saying it. No longer are we judging people's bad words by its effect. Because I'm just going to go out on a limb and say, if you call someone a snake in a grass, no snake is going, oh, well, now I'm just upset. Firstly, they probably can't hear you. Secondly, you're saying it in English. The odds of these animals being able to speak the language, I don't know. They tend to not be very vocal, so it's hard to tell. I don't know if it's ever going to be the case of, you know, if you accidentally say to someone, oh, you're as stubborn as an ox, is an ox going to be like, how very dare you? But, you know, I don't know whether it's right to come down on the side of saying it's ridiculous, because I don't know if it does upset the animals. So to find out more, we can actually cross to a conference call set up with a local zoo. Hello.
Hello, Steve.
Oh, so you're a pig.
I'm sorry. No, that's offensive. That is offensive. That's our word, and if you use it, that is now offensive.
That is utterly ridiculous. That's just a bird-brained idea. I've never heard... Sorry, did not mean to bring you into it. Sorry, no offence. Can we go back to the pig? Can we go back to the...
That's our word, Steve. I just told you that.
Yes, I know you did. So if we can't use animal insults, what words should we be using?
You humans have a long history of using words that describe your own body parts as insults. You know, like fanny and willy.
Or we say things like, oh, you're such a big tit. So I honestly didn't even think of that one. No offence. And also, tit's not an insult. You know, like people like tits, unless they look like spaniel's ears, in which case then people do. That one's on me. I could have avoided that one. Can we go back to the P word? Right. So these words to do with genitals, they're gendered. That would be sexist. We can't use those.
Well, you could just use words that describe body parts that everyone has.
Well, yeah, because we say things like, oh, you're such an ass. Rats. Oh, I said rats. Oh, no one's upset that I said rats? No one minds?
No one likes rats, Steve. No one.
Oh, interesting that it's only ever the cute ones. Okay. Well, thank you for joining me, Animal Farm.
That background behind the P word.
Yeah.
A lot like the expert.
It's a lot. Yeah, I think the expert was down at the zoo. No wonder he didn't know anything about the economy.
About the pens. Because they have pens at the zoo.
Pens? He was selling pens?
No wonder you didn't understand what he was talking about.
Got the wrong expert on.
You got the wrong expert.
Oh, nuts.
You know, at first I was thinking the pig, fine. It suits you.
Yeah.
And then when I went to the bird, I was like, oh no, here we go. All the animals.
All the animals.
All the animals are going to be Steve.
Emo was my favourite one to do. Can I just put it? I did about 17 takes of that. I really enjoyed it.
Lockdown has done well for you.
Yeah.
You stopped talking to yourself. Now you're just doing animal noises talking to yourself.
Just having a row with animals.
Can't wait to see what Lockdown 4 does to you.
Oh, it's truth. Although I already like Victoria's comment. That's my nightmare sorted for tonight.
Oh, dear. Mark has called it a Doctor Who / Shrek mashup.
It was interesting, wasn't it? It was, yeah. Chris has put a comment. He just says a masturbatorium. Now, I guess that's to do with hand cream and curtains, and nothing to do with that picture of a pig. Because if that's what you're into, that's worse than Eric's rough hands. Jeez, you're going to start a fire with those things. Bloody hell!
It makes it look like I actually do work. Rough hands.
Unicorns are also feeling worried. If non-existent fleas are taking offence, mythical animals will be next for sure. Oh, Britt, that is so true.
Are you sure the flea circus is fake? I'm just gonna.
Okay, well, you Google that. We'll go on Comment Cam, see what I can find over here. See.
Oh no, it's not real.
Yeah, sorry about that.
No idea. Little fleas.
No flea, because why would a flea weigh enough to move a flipping metal swing? Right.
It's training.
Oh, that's what it is. Yeah. Well, they are.
Ants can move things.
Yeah.
You should do an ant circus.
Yeah.
I would pay to see that.
And then we'll get the people of the ethical treatment for animals suing me over that one as well.
Ants aren't animals. They're different. It's fine.
Can I also say, actually, whilst it is true to say that the most complaints I ever got for radio work was from the people for ethical treatment for animals, that has been totally overshadowed by the number of complaints that were made over things I've said on the MASH report. The dead diabetic joke apparently is the most complained about thing that they had up until the last series. I've not found out about the last series. Yep. But I got to do. I mean, we got plenty of jokes for the Bruce Forsyth joke that I did. It's not as if it's my fault. You know, people complain about the TV show when it's TV show, but when it's me on radio, Peter had it in for me. Thank you. What about the ethical treatment?
If you want to get some complaints now, just do something about Captain Tom.
No. We're not doing any jokes. No.
I'm not doing a joke.
No.
I'm just saying, since you seem to relish this.
Oh, no, I don't relish getting complaints.
All right.
Oh, dear.
You're the one that brought him up.
But, no, I'm not.
It was totally you.
This is the pig. Byberg, whoa, those two TikTok dudes live. Yes, the actual people from the actual TikTok.
There we go.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Bearberg.
And Michael Bentine made a career out of his flea circus. Yes, he was one of the goons, wasn't he, Michael Bentine?
Yeah.
Sorry, I realised there's no way Eric would know.
I've seen The Goonies. It's a great film.
Yeah, he was the one who got his belly out all the time.
Oh, so good.
Now you understand. For anyone who has seen any of the TikTok videos and now watching us live, if ever you go back to TikTok, you should really enjoy some of the arguments that I've been having with anti-vaxxers and for some reason now flat earthers. There's a subset of flat earthers who seem to be upset with me, and they are arguing that gravity doesn't exist. That's been a tricky one for me to understand. You know when someone's argument is so stupid, you've got no clue what to do with it?
I would love it if gravity didn't exist, because then I wouldn't have to go on my diet anymore.
Yeah. Well, exactly. There have been so many examples of that. Let's put this up so people subscribe. So people have been saying, like the anti, whatever they're called, the flat earthers, saying gravity doesn't exist. And I would say, like, I'll remember that the next time I walk off a cliff. And they said, no, it's to do with air, that you're more dense than the air. So because of buoyancy, you sink to the bottom and the air goes to the top. Like, how do you think buoyancy works if there's no gravity? Like, buoyancy equations have a G written in them, for crying out loud. And then they were saying, no, it's not to do with that. It's just because you weigh more. The fucking hell do you think weight is? Without gravity, you just have mass. And at that point, I decided to back out and then go and have the other row with the other guy who was telling me that bacteria is not stopped by a face mask. I was like, well, good, because COVID's not a bacteria, you absolute arsewipe. So I've had a great week.
I'm glad it's going well for you. You should put on the pig mask and start talking to him.
That clip's going on there later, don't you worry. Bayerberg says, that's a lie. Gravity exists. I gravitate towards G&T anytime. Ooh, yeah.
What more science do you need than that?
The G of G&T is gravity and tonic.
Yeah, that's where the formula comes from.
Which explains why you fall down after you have so many. Fact.
Yep, exactly. Right, have we caught up with comments, I think?
Yeah.
On your side, there we go. If you enjoyed what you've seen today, feel free to kick in anything you can to keep us going and keep us grounded as we proceed with these pens going forward. And I gotta get me some of that Oklahoma hydroxychloroquine.
Yeah,
They,
you get some of
they
that.
ain't giving it away, guys.
I bet that goes well with the gin.
Yeah. That's going to be tasty.
Nice.
And it might help with my problem.
God, what the hell? Have you been like bitten by a radioactive piece of sandpaper?
It happens every winter, and then this year all the hand sanitizer hasn't helped. So
Do you not own moisturizer, or do you're not willing to put it on your hands?
well, in the move, it's disappeared in the house somewhere. So I don't know. It is easier to walk the stairs have gotten kind of slippy. I think my son's been playing with it.
How's that life insurance policy coming along?
Just checked it today. Everything's fine. There we go. Martin says, "We feel your pain, Mr. Steve."
Yeah.
Guessing that's he feels gravity as well.
Yeah, it must be. It's either the gravity ones or the anti-maskers.
Yeah, probably.
Honestly.
Aqueous cream. I'm getting cream recommendations in the chat now.
If you've only caught the end of the show, it is not the best bit. This is where we're just replying to people chatting to us. So
When we normally say, if you contribute, think about the price of a drink. Think about the price of some hand cream.
why can't I bring it? Oh, there it is, the Ko-fi thing. Yeah, there's the Ko-fi link. Whatever you would like to buy, make sure it's enough to sort Eric's grease his palms, if you would. Just get me right in the ear as well.
It's not the only thing that's dry. Anyway, I think we've reached the end.
Mark says, simple magnet can overcome gravity as its power shared across A. And then it's a smiley face. Okay. Yep.
Okay. Calamities. I've never fallen down. I changed the view from which I enjoy the rest of the evening.
Nice work. And this is the great thing about home drinking, is that no one's going to drag you outside for it. You get stuck in Beerberg.
Last orders. Right. Brit's just jumped in there. She's going to send me some Hydromol.
Nice. And actually, Mark and then explains the rest of it. It's power shared across a multiverse. Yes, the idea that gravity is such a weak force, weaker than the weak force, which is odd because there's one called the weak force, definitely weaker than the strong force, there's actually one called that. But electromagnetism, way stronger than gravity, and one theory is that the gravity goes into other dimensions. That's my mime for...
Is this the discussion she get into on TikTok as well?
Dimensions.
She should do the weird science thing now. That's just weird science.
20p for that pen. Hang on. I'll give you.
Right.
Weird science.
That's why my kids can't see the movie. Right. We're back on Thursday.
Yeah.
I'll work on my hands. 9:00. You can see all the past episodes on the YouTube channel, so please check those out. Please feel free to share them. Please subscribe. Even if you can't contribute to the show, that's perfectly acceptable. Just tell people, just watch it, just click on it a lot, drive up the views, and tell people about the show. And but you can buy us a drink as well. That's much appreciated. You can buy Steve's book still at all good booksellers. They're all closed, so you have to go to Amazon.
The latest book.
Yep.
I was on BBC Berkshire this evening talking about this, and normally if I'm interviewed, they play clips from the MASH report, and they played clips from this.
Those fools. I mean, great.
I was sat there. There was the clip where, in the last episode, where I was saying the people who thumb their nose at vaccines get to the back of the queue, and I was doing that, and they're playing it out, and I was realising, I'm sure I said fucking knobhead at some stage. Like, God, I hope they've edited that out. Thankfully they did.
That's what they get. Get Steve's book. You can check out my podcast, American Exchange, where I talked to last week I talked to a Trump supporter.
Did what?
I know, it was interesting. And this week I've got a big guest on, if he confirms. So I'm waiting to find out. But check it out, American Exchange, on all podcast platforms. And buy the books. He's got lots of them.
3 of them now. If you want to get a review of the last 3. These first 2 don't mention COVID, and it's like a fucking walk on. It's like a holiday trip. Holiday in the past of when things weren't quite as shit as they are now. So I think we're sorted until Thursday.
Till Thursday.
See you then.
See you then. Thanks for watching. Bye.